It is waiting.
Oh,
Says,
okay.
okay, we are live on YouTube. So, and now it did that thing, of
Yeah,
course.
you're back in portrait mode.
All right, good to go.
Good to go.
All right,
Oh,
yo.
are you recording?
Well, I mean, we're live on YouTube.
No, I know, but like on your phone too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Are
Sorry,
you?
forgot to do. Yep, just now.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Captain's Quarters, the unofficial Star Trek rewatch podcast. We are rewatching the entire Star Trek franchise, starting at the beginning of the official chronology. My name is Gabe, and I'm with my co-captain Jason. Make it so, Jason.
We also talk about other things too, but um,
Mhm.
how are good? I'm doing good. How are you?
We're a Star Wars podcast with a Star
Yeah,
Trek problem,
yeah,
or is that right? A Star Trek podcast with a Star Wars
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, today we're talking about Star Trek
Before we get started,
Discovery. Oh, yes, LaCroix,
what do you drink?
as
Okay,
always.
okay.
LaCroix Pure.
Pure. Okay, all right,
Blue
nice.
screen is disappearing it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because it's the blue can.
yeah. Yeah, so today we're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Episode 7, with another wacky name in keeping with the rest of this series. This one is called Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad.
Yeah,
Jason, last week I was lamenting that this series, the setting is this massive, allegedly, war with the Klingons.
hmm.
And there wasn't this, all of a sudden, this sense of urgency just dropped away. Now we're just having jogs around
Yeah,
Discovery,
uh-huh.
and they doubled down on this episode. So this episode starts with a Kager.
Yeah,
They're
party.
having a disco
Yeah, party.
on a disco on disco,
Yeah,
right? A
yeah.
discotheque on
Yep,
disco.
yep, definitely.
Tilly's wasted. Um, Burnham joins the party. Her and Tyler have some
Human
chemistry.
emotions are completely illogical, especially these ones. The need
Exactly.
to party.
But my point being, if in fact there is this massive Klingon threat, like what is happening right now? Have you ever watched a war movie where they just stop to have a rave?
Not a movie, but
Or a show for that matter? I mean,
MASH, right? I'm sure
well, there you
MASH
go,
11
MASH.
seasons or however in like
Yeah.
30 seasons had
Oh, yeah.
like a party or whatever going on.
Right. So that's like the only example, though,
The
right?
Korean War. That's the only one I can think of. Yeah.
I mean, what was the conflict in Stripes with Bill Murray? Because I think they actually have a battle at the end, right? So there's technically,
Well,
if and
I mean that's during the Cold War,
okay,
and like,
yeah,
and that's the thing though, but because they steal
the vehicle,
the Hummer the RV basically the
yeah.
EM50. Thank you.
Wow, that is the memory right there, man.
So they steal it, right, and they take it out joyriding, and then the rest of the squad is now charged to go find them, right? The
Hmm.
rest of the squadron platoon.
Yeah.
Then they get captured by the gonna date ourselves Czechoslovakian army or the USSR at the time, right?
Okay.
But Czechoslovakia. And so the two guys, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, may he rest in peace,
Uh-huh. Yep.
have to go rescue them. So they have to break it, they have to sneak in to Czechoslovakia and rescue the rest of the platoon. And so the fight in that movie is just, you know, the Soviet local military, army trying to defeat the Americans, escaping from, you know, escaping from being held prisoner.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, not
All right.
really, yeah, not really a war going on, but the Cold War, I would
Okay.
guess.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I think that's a point in favor of my argument, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That, here it is, this war, and the Discovery is on the sidelines, being sidelined.
Even though allegedly, again, they're the most important ship in the fleet.
Right.
Right. And again, I don't have a problem with them having some R&R
Yeah.
or a break in the action. I just need a line of dialogue that acknowledges
Well,
the setting that was very firmly established in the first two
I
episodes.
mean, Mud is trying to sell Discovery
That's
to,
the only saving grace here. I agree.
right, to the Klingons, and that's his whole thing is that he's trying to get the Klingons to come on board
Yeah, I
and,
agree. Yeah, so
take the ship.
that's the next part. So
Okay.
this party is part of a temporal loop,
Yes.
and there's this half hour that keeps replaying. It's Groundhog's Day basically
Yeah,
on
basically.
Disco,
Yeah,
and it's
basically.
caused by Mud. He has this crystal, and he's trying to figure out what Disco's top secret capability is, which we know is this mycelium powered drive.
Hmm.
So he infiltrates Disco via a Gormagander,
Gormagander, yep. The
which
Star Trek
is
Discovery version of the Pural, the Star Wars one, the
oh yeah,
Star Whale.
I almost said pergola. That's not right. I know what you're saying. This, yeah, the
Oh, we're gonna get.
oh
Oh
man,
man, I feel the Star Wars fans yelling at us already, like screaming into their like podcast. It's the how
the hyperspace whale.
yeah, the
Yeah.
space whale, but there's a specific name. But anyways,
So yeah, these things are in danger. There's literal like codified protocol. If you see one, you have to take
the
it in.
Endangered Species Act is still a thing.
Yeah, yeah. You have to take it in. You have to save it.
Yeah,
So they do that. So Mud, Dwight Schrute, played by Dwight Schrute, knows this.
Rainn
He
Wilson.
hides. Yeah, yeah. Rainn
Oh, is
Wilson.
that his character? Oh, okay. Sorry, sorry.
Jason's pretending he doesn't know the U.S. office.
Huh?
I'm just
I
kidding, man.
don't. I don't. I don't.
It's all good, man.
I
So
don't. The
he
British one's better.
sure it is, buddy. He hides in the
It's the
Gormagander.
first one.
It's true. It does have that claim to fame. Hides in the Gormagander. When they
Yes.
bring it on the ship, he jumps out. Dwight Schrute jumps out wearing an Ant-Man suit from Marvel. He's
Yep.
and
Yep.
he
Totally.
the first time he does it, he kills a bunch of people. Then he keeps rewinding the clock, and his goal is to because even though everything rewinds, he from his perspective, he remembers everything he learns through his various journeys through disco, and we know it's more than 50 because he tells us that he has killed Lorca 53 times or
Yeah.
something.
I love that
And
sequence, by the way.
yeah, the
That,
Lorca ones,
yeah, the
yeah.
Lorca ones where he just keeps going, "Poof, poof, poof," or,
Yeah, what
sends him
was
out into space or
yeah,
whatever.
what do you think the point of that was? The almost like
The,
graphic like when people talk about like um
oh,
fantasizing about
yeah. So this was to prove, I think this was um, to hit home a point that Mud um the bitterness of Mud being left on the
Hmm.
Klingon ship by Lorca.
Yeah. And then when they were together in that cell, you told me that Mud is a recurring character. Was he
Yes.
always a murdering psychopath? Because I got the impression he
No,
was like a
I mean,
scoundrel.
yeah, yeah. This you another point that you getting ahead of me, but yeah, but I'm glad we're going there. Rainn Wilson brings a very dark, twisted Mud to
Okay.
screen, and I think even though I think this episode was supposed to be light and fun and comedic and in a science fiction way, right? It's a time loop
Mhm.
and you get to see all these things happen over and over again. Um, but at the same time, this Mud is very dark and a little bit more Heath Ledger Joker kind of mad psychopath, as you just said.
Sure. Yeah.
Than, the Harry Mudd from the original series. And totally that makes sense. You know,
Hmm.
back in
Yeah.
the 60s one, you know, if I remember correctly, the Harvey Mudd. No, it's Harry Mudd. Um, is more of like, well, Captain. you know,
Yeah.
that kind of deal, which is very much more tonally um cohesive with the 60s campiness of it.
Yeah.
But this one
The
is
like
very
the penguin from
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
Batman or something.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Well, okay. So as we said, through each iteration, he kills Lorca multiple times.
And he gets further and further into his
Hmm.
plot because he's learning more
Exactly.
and more.
Yeah, but the thing is that Stamets, who did some bioengineering on himself,
Yeah.
who has a now genetic connection with mycelia, Stamets is now also immune to temporal loops, and
Yeah.
thus
He's
Stamets
the one that
also
remembers.
remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically the hero of this episode because every iteration through he's trying, given the very short amount of time, trying to tell Burnham what's going on. We need to fix this. And so he has to refine his process also.
Yeah.
And so that's what he does. He gets Burnham to tell him a secret, and that's an efficient way to prove that
Can I
she told
stop
him
you right
something in the
there?
past. Yeah.
Can I pause you
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So I paused it again and I wrote down in my note that the secret I didn't get it correctly right,
Okay.
but I wrote down the secret that she kept and has never told anybody else was that she's never been kissed or has fallen in love or been in love with anyone
Wow.
before.
Most impressive.
And I was like, oh, that's got that feeling of like, okay, this is because it makes sense, right? The human
I
that
don't
was
think it does.
really.
She's shown no aptitude or will like anything romantic at all. Like I can't imagine that she's I never thought that that's what it was. I never thought it'd be like a romantic thing.
Oh, see, that made sense to me that it was a romantic thing. Because here's this human that was raised on Vulcan and raised with certain values,
Hmm.
and she is now just learning to embrace her humanity. And she did have a dialogue where she was like, she says, you know, she's asked a question by, I think, Ash Tyler, I think,
Yeah.
who asks her as, didn't you fraternize? Didn't you spend 7 years on the Shenzhou? Didn't you party fraternize? And she goes, no, that's outside of the realm of my responsibilities, and it's inappropriate to fraternize with officers and stuff like that in that kind of position. That's her choice, obviously. So, yeah, so that made sense to me. I was like, oh,
I guess like for me though, my most of my Vulcan ideas come from T'Pol from Enterprise,
Oh,
and
sure.
to me, like Vulcans are ultra pragmatic about partnering up in that way. And I just assumed that she would have the same ideals, and that's why she never brought it up before, is because to her, in her mind, she mates every 7 years when she's under Ponfar or
Yeah,
whatever
but
it's
she
called.
doesn't go through Ponfar. She doesn't have the.
But I would think in her like
Oh,
mental
oh,
framework, she would
interesting.
still kind of be
Wow.
on that sort of
Oh,
cycle.
interesting. Interesting. You think she would take it that she, so you thought she would take it like that far?
If even like like subconsciously, like just being growing up in that environment, you know,
Understood. Yeah.
just like that would just kind of through osmosis, that's what her viewpoints would be.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So,
Interesting. Interesting.
but anyway, so they figure out Mud has this crystal. Mud discovers a cache of weapons in Lorca's quarters. He uses those with great delight. They still best him. Burnham ends up besting him by convincing him to think that he's like good to go.
Won
He
the day. Yeah.
destroys the crystal. Once he destroys the crystal, it turns out that he thinks that the Klingons are on the way to take Burnham, but really it's his wife, Mud's wife, and his
Girlfriend.
soon to be
I
wife.
don't, yeah. Yeah. Soon to be wife. Yeah.
Yeah, and her father, and
Yep.
there is a dowry, and that's the end
That
of
he
the episode.
basically stole from him and is trying to get a far away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously, I truncate a lot of stuff when I do these recaps, but that was it. So, I enjoyed the episode. I did think Mud did a great job. I liked the alien, the Gormagander.
The Gormagander, yeah.
I already told you I don't like the shift in urgency with the Klingon
Yeah.
War,
Yep.
but
Yep. Okay.
again, I'm at peace with it. I still don't like that we don't meet the characters on the bridge, but this one actually referred to it, made a joke about it.
Yeah.
So at one point, Mud is threatening everybody, holding them hostage, saying, "If you don't start giving me answers, I'm going to start offing people." And he grabs one of the crewmen on the bridge and says, "Okay, random comm officer, you're next." And to me, that was a joke. That was for me. That was a joke for me because I was complaining about not knowing the characters on the bridge. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I think it's pointed at that, right? You know,
yeah,
it plays well because yeah, we don't know. He doesn't vote, so neither do we.
right, yeah. I would at least like to know if we. I mean, I don't think we know the lady whose head is
So
shaved on the
I think
sides.
she, yeah, so I think she's gonna be, I think we're going to get to know her, and
And
she's
then
part of the
also,
ensemble.
yeah, and also like the cyborg lady, the one with
Yeah,
like the
the
silver
Gamora.
skin.
Yeah, yeah, the Gamora
Is that what they're called?
character. No, no, I think I believe I'm referring to from Guardians of the Galaxy and from Avengers, the Zoe Saldana's sister, Gamora, the
Oh,
one
okay.
who was um Thanos' daughter that
Spoiler
is
alert.
taken apart and put together, I think.
Okay. Hmm.
Oh
Okay.
boy, here come Marvel angry Marvel fans.
Not me, man. I'm not a Marvel
Stupid
guy.
co-captain Jason
So
doesn't know what he's talking about.
it's all good. Yeah, so you know, I thought it was fun. Um, I thought the one thing that I do like about this show a lot. I don't know if I'll be able to put this into words, but I've told you about this before with how a lot of modern media, movies, shows, they use like horror elements that when you like step back and look at them, they don't make sense. Like, so in my mind, Harry Potter is the worst offender of this, the movies. So a character will be experiencing something and the music will be very tense and there'll be loud noises and kind of jump scares, like just short of jump scares. But when you like really look back and say like nothing is happening, this is
Yeah.
there's there's no threat right now, but like, and not even just saying that 100% as an audience member watching this, it's like the character should know this. They're literally just walking into a room or something and it's not and it's literally like the storyteller is like afraid to have a moment where there's a lull, and so they have to stuff in suspense. And I just
Oh.
the reason I bring this up is because I do think that Enterprise did this occasionally, where definitely not to a degree which I'm explaining, but they had a little bit of it. And like in a way, it was like Archer. I would always complain about how Captain Archer was always like pissed or angry or
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
little
Yeah,
too
yeah, yeah, yeah,
little too
yeah.
forceful.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when you
yeah,
step
yeah.
back,
But you're like, why?
in this moment,
There's
like
no
why?
reason. Right.
This moment doesn't command this level of intensity.
Right, right, right. Okay.
And so what I like about this show, it has none of that. Everyone's very aware and appropriate for their situation. Like things are crazy, let's act crazy. Things are normal, we'll act normal. And they don't like violate the rules of like what's normal for every situation. And they're
Mm.
very like smart about it. And so I like that a lot. So anyway, that
So,
was it.
okay, so I don't question you whatsoever. The only reason I'm like in puzzlement, I'm like, I was
Yeah.
trying to think of examples of like where there is it's normal, but they're trying to create the heightened sense of suspense
Hmm.
that is to 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 kind of paint a point. Harry Potter, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched those movies in a very long time, but if I do again, I can give you like very specific examples where it it takes the tone of a horror movie, but there's nothing scary happening. And it has all the bells and whistles of a jump scare horror scene, but it's literally
Interesting.
just absolutely nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna derail us a little bit, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
take us down this Harry Potter one.
Hmm.
Okay, I I can see where you're coming from for sure. But do you think that's a decision because that they do it a lot in Harry Potter is because they're kids? Like, let's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're they're the heroes, right, of the story.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, they're kids and they are in this magical, mystical world. And
Hmm.
do you think they're doing it because of that, or is it even then it's like not
I
necessary that
I
they
have my theory is that the filmmakers don't trust the audience to behave rationally, and they'll get bored or they'll lose focus if there's not like a certain level of suspense or excitement, and so they create fake excitement, fake suspense, because they don't
Oh,
trust the audience's attention span to stay
interesting.
engaged in the absence of it. And I think in the process they do the audience a
Oh,
disservice.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
So I
instead
think
of
that's where it
playing
comes from.
tense music, they should be playing like music that kind of hits more of a tonal, like Harry's wistful in this situation,
Yeah.
or in,
Mm-hmm.
deep thought or process. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is the best example, but even in like very early in the first movie, when Hagrid
Oh
first
my God. First
comes,
movie. Holy crap. Oh my.
yeah, when Hagrid first comes to the like island house thing they're staying on, and it's as if a monster is breaking into the house, and it's like they're cowering in their little hut, and there's a monster breaking in,
Yeah.
and then no, it's just
It's
Hagrid.
just Hagrid.
So I just like,
But that was the first time they met Hagrid,
yeah,
right?
I know. I mean, not the best example because it's like kind of like Hagrid's a huge guy and he kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
looks
yeah,
scary
yeah.
until
Okay.
you
Yeah,
meet him,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like that.
Okay,
And there's
okay,
there's
okay.
multiple examples of that throughout the films.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
I don't question that. I don't question you whatsoever.
Harry Potter for the first time, so I'll be able to pull out some specific
Oh,
examples.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, great.
yeah.
Because I'm like, false. Huh. I'm sure I've seen it and been like, ugh, that wasn't anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I could
Interesting.
be wrong. I could be wrong too.
No, no, no,
So,
no. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, that. Huh. No, it's just something I think about. I've just, yeah.
well, so yeah, I would give this episode like a B minus.
Okay. What did you think of the time loop sci-fi aspect to it?
I At first I was like, oh man, um, this is a gimmick. But then I was remembering somewhere in the far reaches of my memory, there's a Next Generation episode that
Hmm.
does something similar.
Yep.
And
To a degree,
I
yeah.
and I was like thinking that, like, I think in that episode, weren't they near like a black hole or something, they were near an anomaly in
So,
space.
so it's been done a couple of times in the Next Generation,
Okay.
where one of them is that they encounter this very xenophobic species,
Okay.
and Data is programmed Data is commanded to not talk about it because he's the vessel that
Hmm.
they communicate through.
Okay.
And Picard orders him, like, they leave too many clues and stuff, and that's why they keep guessing of like, why did we stop? Why because the computer timer is off or whatever the case might be, or there were
Hmm.
clues that was left over. And then there was another one where they are in a nebula of some sort, and I believe that this might be the one that you're talking about. There's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
nebula thing, or there's a space a rip there's a tear in the space-time continuum, and they collide with a starship, with another Federation starship coming from the past.
Oh,
And every time it destroys it, we restart it again
okay.
until they figure out, oh, we have to, make this other move instead of, colliding with, we have to move out of the way or whatever the case might be.
Hmm.
Um, and then that stops the loop. So yeah, they've done it a couple of times in other iterations of Star Trek for sure.
Okay.
And I was gonna bring that up too, so which
Oh,
is
all
great,
right.
which is great, which is
We're on a
great,
roll
which is
here.
great. Yeah, we're on a roll here. Yeah, so it's similar things have been done before. Yeah, certainly didn't break the you know this didn't break anything new.
Yeah, and then the other thing was I could buy the Burnham secret thing with Stamets and
Yeah.
her getting on board. I don't know if I totally bought the final iteration where everyone was on board, include especially Lorca.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
I just can't imagine Lorca so quickly because it would have to have been ultra fast for them to explain to him and then to him to play this role where they're lying and they're all like on a script lying to Mud. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I didn't quite buy it. So
That's interesting because uh, if if the last episode didn't happen
mhm,
and in the beginning where he's like, yeah, whatever, take care of the Gormagander or whatever the case might be.
mhm,
And then but more so last episode where he's like, Hail Starfleet Command, ask them what they want us to do. But then the other component to that is that he knows Harry Mudd, right? And I
yeah,
think because of that interaction in 2 or 3 episodes ago, three
mhm,
episodes ago, I think,
yeah,
in that's where I was like, okay, yeah, I could believe that. I could believe that.
yeah. It's believable. It's just I don't know. Like Lorca, particularly with the PTSD that he was showing, his aggression they're showing.
Yeah.
Like to me, the believable one is where he's lunging at him,
Oh,
and then Mud disintegrates him.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah,
that's totally believable. But the
yeah,
one where
yeah.
he doesn't like he puts his emotions aside and plays
Well, that's
along.
why I think, but that's why I think they needed all three. Because we talk about Stamets and Burnham,
Mm-hmm.
but the third person that really one knew Harry Mudd, and I was like, why is Ash Tyler such a critical component to this episode? Not just the love thing between, the infatuation between him and between Burnham and Tyler, but then I was like, oh, okay, it's because he had been in that cell for so long with Mudd that
Mm-hmm.
he picked up on that you're like, oh, he must have picked up, but he picked up on things of like,
Yeah, the bank
how is he
robbery.
able, how is Mudd able to achieve and accomplish these things? And then we can stop him.
Yeah, like the bank robbery.
Right.
Yeah.
So so I, that, that to me, I was like, okay, got it. And
Mm-hmm.
then when Lorca turns over and says, Captain Mudd, blah, 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 I'm like, all right, that took all three of them to say,
Sure.
Mudd
I
is
think
here. He's trying to sell the ship to the Klingons. This is how we stop him.
I would have liked it better if Stamets had done the same trick with the others, like getting a secret from each of them.
Oh, so in each jump, you get one from Burnham, one
Yeah.
from Tyler, potentially
Mhm.
him explaining it to Lorca.
Yeah, a secret from Lorca, a secret from Tyler.
So you would have liked it to be much more of a Stamets episode than a Burnham Tyler episode?
Just as a way to get Lorca and Tyler so quickly on board.
Oh,
If he
okay.
also did the secret
Okay.
trick with them as well.
Yeah.
And maybe he did and it's just off screen or whatever. But
That's where I thought they were going. I
yeah.
thought this was gonna be a uh a Stamets episode,
Hmm.
not a Tyler Burnham episode.
Yeah.
But I was wrong, obviously.
Well, what'd
Because
you
I
think,
would,
man?
because I would have been really interested to see it from. It would have been interesting to see it more from Stamets' point
Right.
of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah.
But
What'd you
then you'd
think?
have to say, "Oh, we've seen it like 50 times."
Yeah.
Um, I thought this was a fun episode. Uh, you know, a time heist, temporal loop kind of deal. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, this is fun. Um, I thought it was a really good episode. It's more character building. Um, I was surprised at how quickly the writers and producers said we got to bring back Harry Mudd.
Good point.
I was like, wow, it's been 4 episodes, 3 episodes, and he's back already.
Yeah. It's a good point.
And then now, with this, with being with Stella now, we may not get to see him again anytime soon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I didn't expect that, and it was fun. And Rainn Wilson brings a really interesting dark dynamic to the character and a new interpretation of the character, which I appreciated. And that part was fun.
Yeah.
But like with you, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Um, I would I would probably give this, like last time, somewhere in between a lieutenant and lieutenant commander's kind of rating, kind of sliding scale more towards in the middle between a lieutenant and between Worf and Data again. There's nothing.
Yeah. So you're saying 2 pips and 2.5 pips between
Yeah,
them?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Between that, yeah.
Look at me knowing stuff now.
Right? Um, see, yeah. It was a fun episode. It contributed a little bit to the story, to the overall story of
Yeah.
the arc. Um,
Do you think Tyler and Burnham will carry on their romance?
oh, that's a good question.
I think no.
Yeah,
I,
I was gonna say no. I was gonna land on no. Because I was actually half surprised that they didn't kill him already.
whoa.
I would have been sad, but I was like, oh, didn't kill him. But you know, I yeah,
You think he's marked for death?
no, just for some reason with this being a Mud episode, I
Hmm.
was like, they're not killing Lorca, but I could see them offing Tyler. But I'm glad
Oh,
they
okay.
didn't.
Huh. Okay.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Hopefully,
too.
so I'm gonna say no. Um, but I think Tyler is gonna be a big part after I thought that he was gonna be offed, that he's here to stay and,
Do
gonna
you
be
think
part of the
Lor
ensemble.
you think Lorca is marked for death?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
If for no other reason because that's such a renowned actor, I assume he commands a pretty high price tag.
Yeah.
Like like right when this series started, when we saw Michelle Yeoh, I was like, oh well, she's dead. Like she's a massive movie star, right?
Well,
There's no way she's gonna hang around.
now,
They're not
was
gonna
she
pay
then
her.
though? Like in
Oh, I don't know.
2017, was she?
I don't know.
I know she is and was a big star. right? I know
Yeah.
that. Don't I know. Big movie star before, you know, she won the Academy Award.
Hmm.
But at that point, you're like, Michelle Yeoh, I thought that would have been a pretty cool fit to see her longer.
I just assumed they couldn't afford her for more
Yeah, no,
than an episode or two.
yeah. And that's why I thought they wouldn't kill her, but she would be lost or something, right? And they
Hmm.
would bring her back as guest cameo. Like she promoted to admiral or whatever, and then, taken off the bridge, and then writer come in like on occasion, which is what I think they will do with Lorca. I don't know if he's going to be killed. I just think he's going to be lost or something.
Isn't he like a Ray Fiennes though? Isn't he like a British Royal Academy guy? Or am I way off with
Yeah,
that actor?
I don't think he's in that. I mean, is he in the Colin Firth, Ray Fiennes
I thought he was. I don't
level?
I don't even know
I mean, I
his
guess
name.
he is.
But because I mean like he was in every Harry Potter movie. That
Yeah,
alone, right?
yeah, yeah. Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah.
Is that his character's name? Yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I, yeah, I don't know.
So Michelle Yeoh was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Right.
That was a massive success.
Yes. Yes.
So he's okay. Jason Isaacs definitely English.
Yes.
He studied at University of Bristol.
Okay. Hmm,
So
doesn't really mean much.
yeah. Well, I mean, I just think of seems like the oh wait a minute. He appeared on stage, Royal National Theater. I don't know. He has a huge resume. So
Yeah. Most British actors of that hilt
yeah.
do have like a huge stage and theater.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, so I guess he is. Is he gonna be killed? I don't think so. I don't think he's killed. I think he's lost or something. But maybe they do kill Loka. I don't know.
I think they do.
Okay.
And I think that opens the path for what I assume is Burnham eventually taking the helm. But but I don't know. This show definitely like is focused on the underdogs,
Yeah.
on the
I could see Saru becoming captain first.
see, I think we talked about this before. I think
We have.
Saru will be offered the job, but then will relinquish his seat and give it to her.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, was there anything else with this episode you want to talk about?
Nope. Can't think of anything else. I think we
Yeah.
pretty much covered it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any
All right,
Star Wars
man.
news? Anything in
Mm,
the Star Wars universe? Was there a
no.
movie or something that was just recently announced? Or am I making that up? Or a series?
No. No, I
Okay.
think I think all of Disney's money is going to Marvel right now. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So, which is good. You know what? I need a Star Wars break.
You need a break
So,
from Star Wars? Okay.
yeah. So, but okay. We can, it's okay for these to be sub 60 minutes. It's not a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, no. No, I don't know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, everybody, thank you for listening. And we have a Patreon. If you join our Patreon for a mere $2 a month, which is basically nothing, you get early access to the episodes, and we will call your name out at the end of our
Ooh,
episodes.
yeah.
And you'll have our undying gratitude and love and respect, most importantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Spotify,
Can we
Apple
still call it
Podcasts.
Twitter?
See, I'm surprised I said that because I very intentionally try to call it X.
Oh, okay.
You know what's annoying, funny about that is so Elon Musk in interviews, he still calls
Still
it.
calls it Twitter?
So here's what he does. He says X FKA Twitter. He
Holy
never
jeez.
he
Isn't that
never
is it wait. Isn't that the name of a music artist?
I'm, I don't know. I don't know.
Or something very similar?
I don't know.
Okay. Or an actor?
But
Okay.
but he
I digress.
never just says X. He says X FKA Twitter.
Okay.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? Why would you
Right.
do that?
Right.
Uh, but for me, I'm trying to be on the vanguard, and I'm always trying to say X. So I'm surprised I just said Twitter.
So
But
the
anyway,
first time I saw that, I was like, oh, he's calling it 10.
yeah. Anyway, follow us on X and
Or 10.
yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we appreciate it. And until next time, live long and prosper.
May the force be with you.
See ya. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a good rest of your week, man.
You too.
Later.
Have a good one.